video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple and efficient Minecraft Bedrock string farm. This farm works on 2021 and all the platforms of Minecraft Bedrock will be playing on tablet, Xbox, PlayStation, and individual PC. As you guys can see here, this farm produces a ton of string. By the way, string can be traded with the villagers for emeralds. For this farm, you will need 2 chests, 1 hopper, 1 mine. Magma blocks, 26 glass blocks, 2 dispensers. There's 2 buttons, 1 lever, 5 trapdoors, 6 snow blocks, 3 carved pumpkins. By the way, you can get carved pumpkins by clicking on pumpkins with shears. 7 ladders, 14 stairs, 2 water buckets, and finally about 4 sacks of solar blocks that silverfish cannot infest. A couple examples of solar blocks that silverfish cannot infest are smooth stone and wood planks. The first step is to choose an area to make this farm at. You can make this farm anywhere except for hot biomes. A couple examples of hot biomes are desert biomes or savanna biomes. Once you have chosen an area to make your farm at, place 2 chests. Then crouch down and place a hopper over here. Make sure that
วางราวรถไฟนะคะแล้วก็เอาฮอปเปอร์ไม่ใช่ราวรถไฟแล้วก็เอาฮอปเปอร์มาวาง
And also a fat hopper is pointing downwards towards that chest. Then crouch down and place a solid block over here. Then place a block at each of these spots. After you have done that, break this block. Then crouch down and place a rail over here. By the way, it does not matter what direction the rail is facing. Then place a mine-powered hopper at this point. After you have done that, place a block over here and a block over here. Connect. step is we place 7 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next step is we put 7 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then place 8 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
คาคูเรนจานินจานินจาสะพานตรงนั้นมันเหมือนจะมีประกายแห่งแสงจำแรงเป็นเส้นทางพาเข้าไปดินแดนที่ซ่อนเร้นคงเป็นความลับที่โดนปิดบังมาจนวันนี้อธิษฐานจงเผยให้เราได้เห็นคาคูเรนจาเมื่อตอนเย็นเราได้เจอผู้หญิงที่สวยดังนางฟ้าในเวลานั้นมันก็มีลมพัดผ่านร่างเราสองทันใดนั้นก็ดันมีผู้ชายจากไหนโผล่มาไม่รู้มันเป็นเหมือนภาพลวงตาเขาหายเข้าไปในความมืดมิดอยู่ตรงนั้นนั่นอะไรนะตรงนั้นที่ตรงนั้นนินจานินจานินจาคาคูเรนจานินจานินจานินจาเส้นใจคาคูเรนจามองตรงนั้นเหมือนมีอะไรที่เกินอย่างถึงเราจึงต้องเฝ้าดูอันตรายที่มาจากเงาร้ายความกลัวมันได้กระจายออกไปอีกครั้งออกตามหาและเผยให้เราได้เห็นคาคูเรนจาสอนได้ไหมวิชานินจาที่แข็งแกร่งเกินร้ายเลิกอ่อนแออยากจะเปลี่ยนเป็นคนเข้มแข็งกว่านี้เพื่อที่จะรู้ขีดจำกัดของหัวใจนี้อยู่ที่ตรงไหนเราจึงมาร่วมการทดสอบจะเป็นยังไงต้องลองให้รู้เพราะแบบนั้นนั่นอะไรนะตรงนั้นที่ตรงนั้นนินจานินจานินจาคาคูเรนจานินจานินจานินจาเส้นใจคาคูเรนจา
Place 6 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Kakuranger ninja ninja.
Once you're done putting the outline, place a slope block over here. Now fill this outline with magical blocks. The next Set basically is a slope block over here. Then place 6 stairs over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now place a block over here and a stair on top of it. Then place 2 blocks over here and a block at the spot. Now place a stair at this spot and 6 stairs over here. After you have done that, place a slope block in each of these spots. Just to place 8 blocks over here and 8 over here as well. Then place 7 glass block. Over here and 7 over here as well. Once you have done that, place a layer of blocks over here. Next step is to create an infinite water source. To do that, first go somewhere near the farm and place blocks in this formation. Now place water over here and water over
ถ้าใคร
here.
ขี้เกียจไปตักน้ำนะคะ ทำน้ำเป็น Infinity เลย
Now place water in every stair. ยามีมุมนะทำน้ำแบบนี้ไม่เป็นอินฟินิตี้เลยนะคะแล้วก็เอามาวางแบบนี้ As you guys can see there, all the water should flow like that. Then push all the string over there. At this point, fill in and break the infinite water source. The next step is to place 3 blocks over here. Then place 7 ladders over here. Will allow you to easily access this part of the farm. Once you're done with that step, temporarily place a solid block over here. Then place 5 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now break just 1. Then place 4 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, fill in the outline with solid blocks. After you're done with that step, break this block. Then place a trapdoor over here. Then place a lever at the spot. Lever is clipped, the trapdoor should open. The next step is to place a solid block over here and a dispenser at the spot. Whenever this lever is flipped, the trapdoor should open. The next step is to place a solid block over here. Here and a dispenser at the spot. Make sure that dispenser is facing this way. Then place 2 blocks over here and a dispenser at this spot.
แล้วก็วางเจ้าสูตร
Make sure that dispenser is facing this way as well. Now crouch down and place a button behind each dispenser.
พอกดด้านหลังนี้ได้หม
The next step is to place his exploded block at each of these spots. Then extend those. Spots up by 4 blocks. After you have done that, the farm should look like. Step is to place 4 glass blocks over here, 4 over here, and 4 at this spot as well. After you're done with that step, place water over here. As you guys can see there, the water should flow like that. Then place 2 blocks over here, and then this block.
แล้วก็วางนี้
The next step is to place a trapdoor in each of these spots.
แล้วก็แท็บโดแล้วก็ได้มาเฮ้ยโดนชุบได้แล้ว
Those trapdoors will prevent the zombies from falling into the water. Now place a slow block in each of these spots.
แบบนี้นะคะใช่ไม่ได้ปิดตรงรูเลยห้ามปิดรูตรงกลางนี้เด็ดขาดนะคะเพราะนั้นจะใส่ซอมบี้ไม่ได้นะไม่ได้ตัดมอนสเตอร์เดี๋ยวปล่อยสปาซอมบี้ก่อนเลยนะคะ
Next step is to break this block. Once
แล้วก็เอาตรงนี้ออก
you have done that, go out here. And place 6 blocks like this.
ขึ้นมาตรงนี้
And place a solid block in each of these spots.
ทำเป็น2 ชั้นนะคะ2 บล็อกนี่เลยนะคะเว้น2 บล็อกแล้วก็วางตรงนี้เนาะ
This will be the snow golem chamber. The next step is to trap a zombie over there. I am now going to show you all how you can easily do that in survival mode. To do that, first place some blocks like this.
วางตรงนี้
And place a trapdoor over here and open it.
แล้วก็ออกจากด้านบน
That trapdoor will cause a zombie to walk down there because zombies see trapdoors as full blocks. Then create a staircase from here to the ground.
แล้วก็
Once you're done making that staircase, wait for it to turn nighttime and look for a zombie. Once the zombie is following you, walk up here. It should follow you up the stairs. Then jump over to your side. As you guys can see there, the zombie should then fall into that chamber. And next step is to name it. To name the zombie, first place down on it. opening up this landmark over there. Now when the landmark open at the end, I'm working on this new zombie.
ปึ๊บเสร็จแล้วโอ้โหเอาป๊อปปิดไปเลย
Of the zombie. By naming the zombie, you will prevent it from despawning. Once you are done naming the zombie, break these blocks. Now place a solid block over here. At this point, the farm should look like that. The next step is to spawn 3 snow golems over here. To spawn a snow golem, first place 2 snow, then place a couch pumpkin. I believe if your snow golems die, they surely did not make this farm in a hot biome. Then place a block over here. As you guys can see here, the snow golem should shoot the zombie. I am now going to do it from fly around so you can check that make sure to make this final correctly. Over here, there should be the zombie chamber. Down there should be this water area. Over here, there should be the collection system. This side of the farm should look like this. The back should have the snow golem chamber. Finally, this side should have those dispensers. I am now going to show you all how to use this farm. You can first add the spawn chickens and infestation to this dispenser. Then add the spawn chickens and to this bottom dispenser. Now cause the zombie to be able to spawn silverfish when it is hit by the snow golems. The silverfish that spawn will fall down here and get pushed over there. At this point, wait for the infestation effect to wear off on the zombie. This will take a few minutes. After the infestation effect has worn off the zombie, it will stop spawning silverfish. Now press this button. Now dispense a splash potion of breathing onto the silverfish. Then click this lever. As you guys can see there, the silverfish should then fall down there. They'll then get automatically killed. Whenever they die, they'll spawn cobwebs. Cobwebs will then get broken by the water and pushed over here. All the string will get funneled down into this Flex's chest. These farmers are great quick and easy ways to get a ton of string. By the way, the reason why they spawn copper now is because they have a hole effect. They collect all the string in this nest. Once they're done using the spawn, flip the former back up. Now close the trap door. If this farm does not work for you, make sure the spot closes of infestation in the top dispenser. Also, make sure the spot closes of poison in the bottom dispenser. If all your snowballs appear to be shooting snowballs at the same time, fill them and create new snowballs. If you want to easily get more cobwebs to make more spot closures of poison, I recommend you put spot closures of poison as some mobs. Then kill them. As the guys completed, I will cause you to spawn cobwebs. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this simple and
โ ก็ผิดพลาดตรงไหนวางบันไดเล็งผิดพลาดตรงไหนต้องขออภัยแก่นส่งด้วยนะที่นี้ด้วยนะคะ เพราะว่าอาจจะมีคนสร้างแบบใหญ่เป็นมุมนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นคลิปนี้ก็อย่าลืมกดไลค์กด subscribe กดแชร์กดกระดิ่งด้วยนะคะถ้าน้องๆที่แคสเกมอยากให้หน่วยของสร้างฟาร์มงานMinecraftอะไรก็คอมเมนต์ได้คลิปชั่นคลิปนี้ได้เลยอย่าลืมกดติดตามว่าช่องchannelnewของหนูกันเยอะๆด้วยนะคะจะเป็นใหม่ในฟาร์มคลิปหน้าค่ะบ๊ายบายสวัสดี